It is hour number 2 on this Tuesday. Come on by and see us. The doors are officially open, and we've already got a great crowd up here. I think they all want to see Conrad Van Order. Garnet and gold face with glitter.
I feel beautiful.
A lot of people are just staring at you.
I know.
It's like we're at the zoo.
Basically,
Just don't throw anything at them.
I was about to say, it's not a petting zoo. We need to remind everybody.
Do we know how many scrubs or showers it will take for that to come off?
I'll let you know.
I think it's days. I thought Molly said the makeup is good
It's
for
gotta
at least
be
a couple
days.
of days.
I'm going to guess 3 good showers.
Wow.
My wife bought wrapping paper 2 Christmases ago that had glitter on it.
And you still find traces of that glitter?
I will still find a speck of glitter every now and then.
That's
Stuff
what I'm
gets
worried about.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what I'm concerned about. I should have, if I had the foresight, I would have just covered half my face on the beach, and I could have gotten really sunburnt and then saved half the paint. But
this is much safer, Conrad.
This is much safer. You're right.
If you missed the first hour of the show, you can go and download the Three Man Front podcast. It was just an outstanding hour of radio. We had Mike Griffith on for almost 30 minutes. We had Nick Kelly, who's down in Tuscaloosa covering Alabama. He joined the program. And we welcome your phone calls. We're pretty much open for the next couple hours. We want to hear from you. We had just the response yesterday was incredible. Record numbers on YouTube watching us. We had so many people on the text line and Twitter engaging with us, and we appreciate that greatly. And we want to hear from you. 1-800-239-WJOX, courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450.
Hopefully you took me up on the offer to get to the Finnick to watch your college football last weekend. If not, there's plenty of season left, so don't fret. Coming up tomorrow, that is when the Finnick work week begins. Wednesday nights, Wednesday afternoon. The new 6-day schedule includes live acoustic acts Wednesday through Friday from 5:30 to 8, followed by live bands at 10 p.m. on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, dedicated to sports. No live music to get in the way. They got a new restaurant menu, certainly we're cheering for, with great wings, wood-fired grilled burgers. They've got steaks, all the fork and knife options you can think of, the shareables as well, including fresh seafood. And don't forget about the large selection of Finnick beverages. We will see you at the Finnick this college football and NFL season. They've got NFL Red Zone, Sunday Ticket, all of that good stuff. You can go to the Finnick, 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park. Always tell them Landrum from Jox sent you.
All right, so Bill Belichick last night, he gets embarrassed in his debut in college football, 48-14, the final. Carolina did nothing well. Wasn't physically competitive along the line of scrimmage. He was outgained 542 to 222. Matter of fact, TCU ran off 41 consecutive points against the Tar Heels. The 48 points scored by TCU marked the most allowed by North Carolina in any opener in the school's history. UNC's got Charlotte this weekend.
Yeah, it's first game, but there's no other way to chalk it up. North Carolina is just not good. That's not a good football team. That is going nowhere fast this season.
They did a great Alabama impression, though. Impressive first drive. They're moving the ball, and you're like, man, okay, maybe
Scripted.
there's something working here. A script, exactly. And
Yep.
falls apart after that.
I mean, seeing Michael Jordan, get fired up, stand up, and
well, when they saw Aaron Boone walk into the stadium, they should have known it wasn't going to be their night.
I couldn't watch the entire broadcast. How many times did we get a Jordan?
I don't think it was as many.
There was one early after
Saw plenty
the
on
first
social
touchdown.
media with people that were in the stadium that were filming her and putting out all kinds of memes. I did see one where they flashed up the score. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And they said, coincidentally, this is the age difference
Did
of
you
Bill
actually
Belichick
see
and Jordan.
some of the signs at the tailgates? Did y'all see that one?
The Air Jordan sign, yes. That
I like
is
the Air Jordan. That was good.
That is fantastic.
Oh.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yep. Also a big story was Kirk Herbstreit. Apparently, the thin skin of Kirk Herbstreit continues. As after the game, apparently some folks were taking shots at, I guess, them trying to kill time in an absolutely horrible game. He tweeted this last night at 11:10 p.m. It says, instead of making up things I said, how about giving Reese, Holly, and I some love for getting through the game? Those games are by far the toughest games you announcers have to call. A lot of people were taking shots at him they were coming from TCU fans because TCU fans were irritated because the whole game was about Bill Belichick in North Carolina, and it wasn't the fact that TCU was playing a really good football game. And so TCU fans were coming after Herb Street.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get get his dog on television and panting in the microphone. I mean, it's just enough's enough about the dogs in the daggum, press
being up
box.
there in the booth with him.
I mean, seriously.
There was also a part where apparently he got caught on a hot mic coming back from break, and you could hear him say something along the lines of, "They're bad" or "That's bad," and people thought that, we caught Kirk Herbstreit talking about how bad North Carolina looks on a hot mic, and people were freaking out about that as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, once again, he's, I understand last year he gave us the reasons why, he was, a little bit more emotional on social media at times or whatever the case may be, and I understand that. And I have full sympathy for that, having a wife that went through cancer treatments. I understand that. But when you're tweeting out 11-10 last night and you're kind of taking shots at the fans.
Did he tweet that or did his son tweet that?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't know. But
now he's running that social.
But now his son works at On3.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So,
well, if he was talking about North Carolina, I don't have a problem with it. If you're North Carolina, you're probably sensitive to it because you expected something better than what you saw with all the build-up and all the hype surrounding Bill Belichick. But that's not a good football team.
No, they're bad.
They are going nowhere fast.
Yeah, it's
that is a 4-8, potentially 3-9.
And it's just funny because and it's all coming to roost when you have Belichick telling everybody that he wants to make North Carolina into the 33rd NFL team.
Okay.
I mean, it's just amazing. And then when you look at his depth chart that they handed out in the press box last night, where had every position.
Yeah, nothing.
And there was nothing underneath any position.
Well, how many lottery picks is he getting in the transfer portal next year? If you want to turn it into an NFL roster, how much money are you willing to spend?
I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, I've never been impressed with Gio Lopez as a quarterback ever.
Yeah.
And that goes back to his days at James Clemens High School because we took him to the woodshed in the playoffs, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he goes to South Alabama, and then he beats Max Johnson for the job at North Carolina. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, and it doesn't help either if you're Bill Belichick, just from the standpoint of Matt Patricia, who worked under you for how long in New England? His defense looked pretty good on Saturday against Texas.
Well,
they looked pretty
again,
good
though, it comes back to what are you willing to pay for? Matt Patricia, pretty good roster of Jimmys and Joes that he had to work with, and then trying to do that in Chapel Hill. But if you want to turn it around real quick, just spend Cody Campbell stupid money in the offseason where people can't tell you no.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because it's something that Mike Griffith brought up in hour number 1 about Alabama. The thing that just gets me about the whole Alabama situation is that from the very get-go, I was told that the defensive line was going to be the biggest issue with Alabama's football team, period. And Alabama did not do anything in regards to going out and buying a defensive lineman.
No, they doubled down on the talent that they had and bringing them back for another year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, for those people that are evaluating talent in Tuscaloosa, why in the world would you not go and find yourself and overpay if you have to a defensive lineman? Based on the fact that, okay, we've got Keenan, you got Overton, okay.
But Overton did the same problems he had last year on Saturday. He couldn't finish against the quarterback.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Alabama, Courtney Morgan, for all that he is doing. The other thing that I was told this weekend that you better start paying attention to is Alabama potentially starting to lose some of these top recruits. Because we all know how fickle these kids are.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden.
It's all about momentum.
Absolutely. And so earlier in the summer, it was Auburn had no momentum, right? Well, Auburn can't do no wrong now. Now, I know they had a player decommit the other day to Tennessee. But all of a sudden you look around the conference, and Alabama's not that hot program. And then you got to ask the question, you've already got this stuff like on paper that these 5 stars are going to come to roost, because if not, Alabama's about to take some major dings in the recruiting category, and Courtney Morgan is going to have to start answering some questions.
Well, and if your commitment in the front 7 defensively for Alabama, do you not look at this and go, yeah, that offer you gave me was pretty nice, but we're going to need to step that up now because you clearly very much need me, and school B over here is offering X number of dollars, and if you can't match that, well, I'm going to go take the money there because it's very clear that this is a position of need for Alabama. And you have some of those guys.
Look, I think that reinvesting in your own guys and continuity, that's great. That's wonderful, and it's a rarity these days in college football, but you dang sure better be right. You better be right about those guys, especially the defensive line where guys go at a premium. If you can, if I was going to spend, if I'm a GM, just knowing your Tim Keenans, they don't make many of those, but go and get maybe one or two guys. They're graduate transfers. They've already completed all their coursework. They played meaningful snaps. They've started maybe in the Big 12 on the defensive line. Is he a first-line guy in the SEC? Probably not, but at least he can go into Doak Campbell and he can spell you, as opposed to maybe some of those guys that you brought along hoping that another year would mean better results. Sometimes it is what it is.
Or you bring in a Kelby Collins who, didn't really contribute a whole lot at Florida, and you're thinking that you can get something more out of him in Tuscaloosa than you did before. And maybe that goes back to your point about talent evaluation of you're spending money on these guys that maybe they develop into something, but right now you need guys that can go on the field and play right now. You don't need guys that you're looking at and well, maybe a year or two down the line they're right. No, you need guys right now, and you don't have that.
There's no doubt about it. Water is your worst enemy, and it doesn't need an invitation to get into your house. It finds its way into your crawl space, bringing along mold, pests, wood rot. But APS, Alabama Professional Services, they can solve that with you, and they can give you a good solution. Their crawl space encapsulation system seals out moisture, blocks pests, and can even reduce your energy bills. This isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. The engineers at APS, they can design a custom system specifically for your home. Start today by calling them, 205-951-9717, or their website, alabamaprofessional.com.
Oh, our great server. She's up here. We've got some sweet tea. We've got plenty of cervezas. Come and join us. We're at Social Taco here in Homewood. The doors are open. The likes of Jody and others hanging out upstairs. You can just take a first-hand glance at Conrad and that masterpiece that Molly has painted onto his face. Come and join us, Social Taco in the Square in Homewood, as we continue a Taco Tuesday live from Social Taco, three-man front on Jox.
It is 11:16. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jox, Pat, Conrad, Molly, and Landrum. A bonus of getting some great Mexican cuisine when you come up to see us. You get to see Conrad Van Order paying off a bet, as he said that if Florida State beat Alabama, he would, of course, be painted up with face paint in garnet and gold.
That just came out as something I just casually threw out there after the fact. Never really thought that it would happen.
Well, that's why it was so easy for me to just, I'll do that.
I think that was right after you had poked your chest out and you said, we're bringing that whoop-ass.
It was, yeah. The can of whoop-ass was already there, unfortunately, and it came from the other side.
Yes, it did. There was a lot of whoop-ass on that Gus bus.
Yeah, there was.
So we talked about this earlier in the show. It's pretty interesting as I tweeted this out, but Vegas now has 22 names about the next head football coach at Alabama. And they have Tommy Rees listed at 3-1 as the next head coach of the –
I don't know.
You know, I took me 3 Advil before I came here today.
I got a bottle full of them. I'm about to break into
and
them.
I'm probably going to have to take at least 6 more to get through this show today.
The only guy not drinking up here besides us is leading cheers.
Yes, which is crazy. But anyway, sorry, my loss of train of thought here.
Tommy Rees, 3-1.
Tommy Rees, 3-1. Glenn Schumann is 4-1. Lane Kiffin, 5-1. Kenny Dillingham, 7-1. Deion Sanders, 8-1. And then you had Jamarcus Shepard, Sean Deion Hamilton, Jimbo Fisher around 10 to 12-1.
Jimbo, that would be a good one. Let's get that one.
I'll tell you, looking at that list right now,
Kenny Dillingham.
If this were to happen, no, I'm rooting for the Houston Texans to go winless this year.
Oh, so you can get D'Amico Ryan?
So D'Amico Ryan, yes, because that's who I would have been a fan of that a couple of years ago.
Lane Kiffin's got to be at the top of that list for a lot of Alabama fans.
Absolutely.
I would think that right now would be the crowd favorite.
Hey, before you get to text, I want to play this clip because this is priceless, okay? So Dan Lanning on this list, I'm trying to find Dan.
40-1.
Oh, he's 40-1.
Him and Marcus Freeman and Ryan Day have the same odds.
Yeah, so Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman, and Ryan Day all have the same odds at becoming the next Alabama football coach at 40-1. So last night, because it's West Coast, but Dan Lanning has his weekly press conference late in the day on Monday, which is technically early evening in Birmingham. So take a listen to this Q&A with Dan Lanning and a reporter about this week's opponent, that is Oklahoma State.
Mike Gundy spoke quite a bit today and mentioned a lot about how much the resources are here, a lot of spending on the team here, suggested the roster cost $40 million last season, and also said that non-conference scheduling perhaps should be more aligned with budgets. Just didn't know if, with all of those comments, if you had a particular reaction or thoughts about future scheduling or how much there may be a disparity between these programs.
Yeah, it sounds like there is, listening to him talk. Like I said, I got a ton of respect for Coach Gundy. Ultimately, how blessed are we to be in a place that's invested in winning? If you want to be a top 10 team in college football, you better be invested in winning. And we spend to win. Some people save to have an excuse for why they don't, right? And ultimately, he's a great coach. They've done an unbelievable job, but I want to be a team that's competing at the highest level. And we're really fortunate to be in that situation. So I can't speak on their situation. I have no idea, what they got in their pockets over there. I'm sure UT Martin maybe didn't have as much as them last week, and they played. So we'll let it play out.
Oh, my gosh. I love Dan Lanning.
Don't undersell the Skyhawks and their roster and what their collective looks like.
So basically you had Gundy griping about the fact that Oregon spends all this money on the roster, but Gundy's coming off playing UT Martin the week before.
Yeah.
And Gundy was insinuating that maybe, these non-conference games or these opponents should fall in line with how much money that they're spending on the players.
Did you see the amount that Gundy said that they had spent on their roster?
I did not.
$7 million.
That's it?
I read it, $7 million. I'm trying to think about what he was talking about. It might have been certain position groups, but $7 million at Oklahoma State, a Big 12 team? What?
Yeah, that's about a third of what I'd say Oregon's probably spending on their team this year.
Goodness gracious. That's something else.
But this is not breaking news to anyone.
No, it's not.
We knew that the rich would get richer, and those who had the big pocketbooks would have the ability to go out and buy some of the best talent in
This
most
is
cases.
why they tried to put the Venmo's QR codes on their helmets last season. You remember that? At Oklahoma State? They needed the money.
That's right. They sure did.
They needed that.
It is going to be interesting, not that any of us – we understand that any kind of poll, whether it's a coach's poll or an Associated Press poll, it means absolutely nothing. We said that prior to the kickoff of the football season, granted, okay? It has no bearing on the college football playoff, zero. It's not supposed to. We're waiting the AP to come out. We're also waiting for the coaches poll to come out. I've seen, other writers and other people in our field, they've posted stuff where I'm just curious where Florida State is going to end up if Alabama's still ranked in the top 25 and if Auburn cracks the top 25. I'm anxious to see just those three teams in regards to the movement.
Without looking at it, and for all of the talk that we heard from a lot of people around the country about Baylor and what Baylor could potentially be, for Auburn to go in
right,
to control that game after Baylor's first, couple of drives where they had the chance to go up 10-0 and Auburn was able to get the fourth down stop, and then from then on, Auburn controlling that game, winning by double digits, not being perfect, I would have them in my top 25. But we know that things change over the course of a weekend, and then some of these voters, they're looking at different teams, and sometimes it's just easier to rinse and repeat or to copy and to paste. And I don't know. I don't think Hugh Freeze is probably that worried about it. You've got two non-conference games. Then you got Oklahoma. You got A&M. That's going to answer a lot of questions, having to go on the road in your first 5 games. But if for nothing else for Hugh Freeze, we broke down the schedule and said if you want to go baseline 8-4, you got to win all 4 of your non-conference games. Yep. They weren't able to do that last year. So now you assume they go 4-0. Just go 4-4 in conference play.
Well, and if you're Hugh Freeze, right, and you're not in the top 25, maybe you even like that a little bit, right? Hey, look, we had a great performance, started off the season the right way, but you're still not getting that respect that maybe we think that we deserve. So let's continue to build on that and show them why we are firmly one of the 25 best teams in the country. So maybe a little extra motivation for Coach Freeze.
Going back to Mike Gundy and his comments, he recently estimated the program spent approximately $7 million in name, image, and likeness over the past 3 years.
Wow.
Whew.
Wow.
Surely.
Well, they did go winless in the Big 12 last year.
God rest his soul, but where's T-Boone when you need him?
Surely that's only on portal players or something, right? There's no way you're spending
$7 million over. So
that
is averaging out to budgets, and that would be below budgets that we've heard for certain programs in the American Conference.
Yes, very much so.
That's wild.
But it also would not surprise me if Mike Gundy doesn't really pay attention to any of that stuff.
Fair.
And $17 million just became $7 million.
Yeah. It's a slight rounding error.
Text line, it happens. Text line is open, 205-834-9450. Very entertaining text, as you can imagine. When it comes back to the Vegas odds, Lane Kiffin, 5-1 odds to become Alabama's next coach if Kalen DeBoer is fired?
Yep.
This one reads from our friend Conrad Van Chaos. Lane would ride a unicycle with no seat to Tuscaloosa. Yes. Tim, your buddy from up in North Alabama, our great listener, says, welcome back, buddy. Or he says WDE. Tim does,
congratulations on the big win, Tim. I'm glad you had a great weekend if you're an Auburn fan. Fantastic.
Bobby letting you know that Conrad should ask to borrow the headdress and the spear from Matt Moscona's newest Bama is Burning segment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's I'm sure he's having fun with that.
I'm not ready for that segment yet.
I'm sure it's going to be an all-timer. I'm happy for Matt Moscona. Big weekend for him, too.
Dave says the perception of FSU is the problem. New coordinators, new quarterback. We won't know about either of these teams until weeks from now. Don't want to hear these fair weather fans when this team turns it around, roll tide. Biggest area of concern, though, when we're talking about effort. Effort.
Yes.
This is first game of the season. You had something to prove for the guys coming back, a lot of them coming back from last year. This was going to be that year. We heard that talk, right, Conrad?
Absolutely. Well,
and you're lacking effort in a game on the road?
And that's the worst part. And, I mean, Nick said the
season?
same thing. That's you really can't explain that. right? Like, have you not wanted to hit somebody all fall camp? It doesn't make sense when, and I know he's not the only player, but, it's gone, around a lot on social media when you got guys like Bray Hubbard jogging in the middle of a play in the first quarter. It's like, what could get you more fired up? You've had a team, you've waited all off season for this. You have a little bit of chip on your shoulder from last season. The other team's been talking crap all summer long, and that's the kind of effort you're giving 15 minutes into a football.
What's funny but not
bizarre.
funny is we were having fun with what Ira told us when he joined us from Orchant about Florida State fans want to see that team just give 4 quarters of great effort, and we made light of it because it was funny. You don't typically hear that heading into a matchup like we had. But as it turns out, that was Alabama's biggest issue is effort.
Absolutely.
Come on.
I would have loved to see 4 quarters of effort from Alabama. You probably would have won a football game, but
break
or at
that
least made
down.
it closer.
When you're giving all the measurables and your NIL valuation for these players in the portal, have an effort. Like, what kind of effort does this kid give? What are we talking about? Effort.
And that's what's concerning, and again, something that I asked Nick about, and maybe Tim Keenan is such a big part of that, but again, I would say you can't let that all fall on one player. But where's the fear from the players, right? They don't look like they fear the consequences of not giving good effort or not being lined up in the right position or not knowing what the play call is. There's no fear. There's no sense of punishment or, ooh, I might I might lose my starting position, or ooh, I might have to do extra, this or that at practice. There's no fear. There's no accountability.
Well, so apparently A.J. McCarron, he does a podcast with Chris Stewart and Trent Richardson. Apparently he went on the podcast, and he said the biggest problem is Alabama doesn't have enough Alabama kids on the team. I'm talking about kids that are from the state of Alabama.
With that home state pride.
Yeah, that these kids are coming in here, and it's just they just don't have the passion that an Alabama football player would have. I'm talking about from the state of Alabama.
That's just that's ridiculous, and that really chaps my. All of these kids, all of them, not some of them, not just the right tackle or the left tackle or this defensive lineman. They're all getting paid. You're all getting paid to do a job. The minimum that you can bring every single day is effort. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be perfect every day. You're not going to win a Heisman necessarily on every Saturday, but you can bring effort.
Well, how many of those kids that LSU brought in through the transfer portal are from the state of Louisiana? I don't know, but
not many.
Not many.
They knew it was a big game. They knew they were getting paid to go out there and perform, didn't they?
They looked pretty fired up to wear the purple and gold on Saturday and go and take on Clemson. That wasn't a problem for them.
If effort continues to be an issue, then the conversation we're having about these odds, that's when it really ramps up. Because if you can't coach your team to give effort, which you shouldn't have to, but if you can't instill that and reinforce that, hey, we need to go out there, and if you don't, your butt's going to be on the sideline.
It's when you lose the locker room.
But can you afford to do that these days with the money that's attached?
Well, here's another little line.
You might as well at this point. It can't get any worse, can it? Can't get that much worse.
All right, so here's another line from the podcast that I was just referring to. This time it was from Trent Richardson. Said he saw a Florida State player perform a lewd act to embarrass a Tide player during Saturday's loss to Florida State. This is a direct quote from the podcast. He says, I literally seen an offensive lineman from Florida State rub their junk on somebody's head from Alabama while they was on the ground. Like he pancaked him and rubbed his junk, just letting him know, you're going to finna get all this all night.
Finna.
They sent a message to us real early. After that, I didn't see that Alabama guy no more. Ain't going to call him out, but I ain't seen that guy no more. You know who he is. Turn the film on. I ain't seen him no more. End of quote from Trent Richardson.
Well, early reaction and a way to shut that down. If the player knew that it was happening, he felt like it was happening.
Well,
next play.
To be fair, Alabama did just lay there and take it for 3.5 quarters. So
they did. We continue with your text. Ryan Williams peaked at 17.
Ever since he became legal, he hasn't performed.
It's in the drops, and I know that he got concussed, and hopefully he's able to go on Saturday. And I know they're monitoring that, but I mean, just make the fundamental plays.
Uncle Jerry from Hayden, here we go. Between Paul Bryant Jr., the Drummond Coal Company, even Coach Saban, somebody out there can come up with the money to buy Pay the buyout and get rid of that buffoon to bonehead. Going to be a long season. RTR, the number 4 life, all caps, football emoji. Thank you, Uncle Jerry.
All right, we will continue with your text messages. We're live at Social Taco. This is Jox. Welcome back to the three-man front on Jox. Pat, Conrad, Molly, and Landrum with you until 2 o'clock. 1-800-239-WJOX. We're enjoying some chicken feathers in between the breaks and some chips and salsa. You, too, can enjoy all this. Come up and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. To the phones we go. 1-800-239-WJOX. Let's go to the Crimson Convict. Joins us next. What's up, CC?
Hey, brother. Please tell FSU Dave, all I can do is respect it. Tell him I'm not dodging him. I'm out here paying bills. But Molly said that you touched on what I had sent you, and I don't know if I should say this or not, but you confirmed that you believe that may be true. Is that correct? Is that par for the course, Pat? Did it happen on Saban's watch?
What are you talking about exactly?
So I sent a clip from a booster, a supposed booster.
Are you talking about the eating food at 2 in the morning?
Yes, and letting friends in the door at 2 in the morning, back and forth. I mean, is that what we got going on here? Did Saban let that happen under his watch? Is that just normal for college football programs?
I'm sorry, Pat may be able to answer this better than I can. I will just say I don't feel like I remember hearing about those types of things when Nick Saban was there. I'm not saying that never happened, because I'm sure that there was some player at some point in time that had a friend or somebody come in and sit in their hotel room during that 17-year stretch of time. I will say I think this is the kind of thing – I'm not saying that's a good look, but I also do think it's a thing that is pointed out and magnified when you have the performance like you do against Florida State, and that's when those things start to come out more commonly.
Okay,
Maybe we just didn't have that in the Saban era.
Yeah, and before I get to that, Conrad, you're not allowed to be in the same state as an away game anymore. But anyway.
Well, I won't be going to any away games the rest of the season. I can promise you that.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, where's the team leadership? I mean, how can you expect to play if you're staying up till 2 a.m. in the morning and you have zero organization getting on the team bus and players being late and there's no accountability? I mean, that's going to translate on your actions on the field, man.
No, I certainly agree. I think that you can very easily overlook and something that Nick Saban was clearly very good at is all of the little things that go into it's more life stuff, right? Of being responsible and making sure you're on time, making sure you're handling the things that you can control. And I do think it's fair to say that stuff is concerning because, I mean, it goes back to last year, right, when you heard the reports early on of, oh, well, we're no longer going to allow kids to be late to team meetings. That's not going to fly anymore. Well, why did that fly in the first place? That should never be a thing that's acceptable. And those are all the little things that if you do those in your day-to-day life, it's going to carry over to the football field. And clearly that's an issue or an area that they've been lacking on since Kalen DeBoer got there.
Roger that. Listen, I'm not going to keep the phone lines jammed up, but we got a culture problem, bro. I mean, if we can't control what we can do, there's no way we can control what the opponent can do on the field. That's just my opinion. Thanks, brother.
I agree. Appreciate you calling in. Yeah, so did I misspeak there, Pat? Had you heard of anything of that nature?
No.
And again, I mean, this is a report from a booster that was going around on social media, so, I mean, I guess take that with a grain of salt if you want to. But if it is true, it's certainly not a good look after what you saw on the field on Saturday.
No, not at all. Some big games have been updated according to FanDuel and the Vegas point spread. Georgia is a 6.5-point favorite at home against Alabama. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was, 4.5, 5?
Yeah, it was like 4.
Something like that. So now it is currently 6.5. They're also, Georgia, a 6.5-point favorite at Tennessee coming up. Notre Dame is a 6.5-point favorite versus Texas A&M. Texas is a 7.5-point favorite against Oklahoma. Ohio State minus 3.5 versus Penn State. And Ohio State is 5.5 against Michigan to end the year. So there's been some updates on some of the bigger games of the year. You can come by and see us. We're live at Social Taco. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. A great crowd. I think a lot of them have shown up because they want to see you eat crow. And
Yep.
We have not had FSU Dave enter the building yet.
I thought he would have been the first person here.
Or Hastings. I'm not sure if you and Hastings.
I was about to say, I might be more worried about having to confront Hastings than FSU Dave. I feel like I let Hastings down.
But I will tell you, and we'll have to take a picture and put it on social media, Creed, to me, has, what he's wearing today.
Yes, he has the Alabama chain on with an arrow stuck through the middle of the Alabama A. So that is an excellent outfit choice, Creed. Very fitting, all things considered. Yes,
he's a good sport.
Absolutely.
You're wearing makeup, and Creed's got a arrow going through his Alabama necklace.
I wish I had made the bet to wear that instead of the face paint.
Well, the day's still young.
That's right. Yes, it is.
The day is still young. You're not really sure exactly what potentially is going to happen. Well, it stormed in Trussville yesterday, and I know other parts of Metro Birmingham may not have gotten the storms, but whether you're in Vestavia, Homewood, Gardendale, the wind this time of the year with those thunderstorms, it can be bad. Torrential rains can also affect your roof on your house. So even if your roof looks okay from the ground, allow Travis Lloyd and his outstanding local roofing team at Abide Roofing. Let them come to your house, give you a free, no-pressure roof inspection to make sure your home is safe. And if the storm left you with more than just a soggy yard, they also handle tree removal. Abide Roofing has got your back. They'll even work directly with your insurance company to make sure you get what you need to protect your home today. I've seen their great work firsthand. Travis and his team, they're licensed, bonded, insured pros, and they genuinely care about what's going on. I ran into Travis Lloyd on Friday night, and he was just talking about all the great work and all the great phone calls they've been getting from Jox listeners, and we can't thank you enough taking advantage of that free, no-pressure roof inspection. The number to Abide Roofing, 205-941-6223. You can visit them online at abideroof.com. That's A-B-I-D-E roof.com. Call them today, 205-941-6223.
We continue here from Social Taco. Folks still arriving. We got some new guests walking up the stairs. We got an Auburn fan. We have what looks to be an Alabama fan, maybe a former Alabama fan. And, we got about half of the conference represented. Come and join us, Social Taco. We're in the Terrace. We broadcast until 2 o'clock every single Tuesday. Three-Man Front continues right here on Jox.
We're taking your phone calls at 1-800-239-WJOX. No, it hasn't calmed down. I did a radio show this morning. I got to do another radio show later this afternoon after our show, and the number one topic is Alabama burning. Has the National Guard been called out? Is it rioting in the streets in Tuscaloosa? What is going on?
That was the question I got this morning on a radio show in Fayetteville. It was everybody just stops to, let's be honest, you stop on the interstate when there's a wreck. You got the rubberneckers.
Yeah.
Same thing with Alabama football. If there's one little sign of weakness or a crack in the armor, that's nothing you don't see, and that's a credit to the program. But people want to know what's going on, and ultimately, what is the future? What's the timeline if it continues for a guy like Kalen DeBoer?
Well, it's the arrogance of people like Conrad. That's what
it is.
Has the rest of the SEC.
That's absolutely right.
Irritated. They like to see people like Conrad be brought down a couple of notches.
And when it happens, I'm happy to oblige.
And you've been a good sport.
Unfortunately, I did not think it would be this Saturday, but
what a 14-game stretch it's been for you. Or really, we just go back to what we saw in the Georgia game last year, and then after that point, what we've gotten since then.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, since that point, Alabama is 5-5 overall.
Losing,
not what I'm used to as an Alabama fan, obviously.
And it's not. It is losing the game.
It's how they looked losing some of the games.
They looked. You go back to Norman, Oklahoma game that you witnessed. If you want to go back to Michigan in the bowl game, but certainly what you saw last Saturday, when Florida State got a 17-7 lead. I want to ask you. Well, I will ask you. I don't know what you thought. My immediate thought was this game's over. Based on what I've seen from Alabama, don't know what the weather's going to do. It was almost like the game plan was score as many as you can, and then if the sky drops out, which it did, but then it subsided, we've got them, and they did.
Yeah, Oh, no.
That sound means there's breaking news here on the show, and for more, we send it to the breaking news desk where Pat Smith is standing by. Pat, what you got?
All right, you got the new coaches poll that has just come out.
All right.
The number one team in America is the Ohio State Buckeyes, followed by Penn State, Georgia, LSU, Oregon, Texas, Miami, Clemson, Notre Dame, Arizona State. That's your top 10. Coming in at number 11, South Carolina. Number 12, Illinois. 13, Michigan. 14, Ole Miss. Florida 15, SMU 16, Tennessee 17, Iowa State 18, the Florida State Seminoles at 19, the Alabama Crimson Tide, they fall 12 spots to number 20, Indiana 21, Texas A&M 22, Texas Tech 23, Oklahoma 24, and BYU at 25. So Auburn does not crack the coaches poll top 25. Others receiving votes include Utah, Louisville, Missouri, Kansas State, Tulane, USC, then Auburn. So Auburn would be 32nd in the coaches poll.
Yeah, and it's nice for window dressing, but Auburn's got some really big games left to play and beat a ranked team. You're going to have two opportunities as it stands right now to do it with Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Baylor wasn't ranked. I think Baylor will be ranked by the end of the season. But if you're Auburn, you're not sweating that. I think more so for Conrad, and I'm not picking on you, but for Alabama, it really hits home when you see 20 next to that name.
I'll be honest, there's a part of me that hope they fell out altogether.
Yeah.
Send a message. It doesn't matter that you were in the top 10 to start the year. That kind of a performance, they weren't a top 20. That's not a top 25 football team right now. Doesn't mean they can't be, but they're not right now.
Kansas State dropped out. Boise State dropped out of the top 25. Florida
Kansas State should have dropped out.
Oh, that South Florida game this Saturday?
Don't sleep on that one.
Florida State jumped up 28 spots based on their numbers from the preseason coaches poll. Alabama fell the most, which was 12 spots.
LSU, well-deserved. 9 from 9 to 4?
Yeah.
Big jump.
Yep. I don't know. I would have had LSU ahead of Georgia.
I would probably have gone Ohio State 1, LSU 2.
Yeah.
Honestly.
If you're going with those top teams, most tested, those two,
yeah,
you feel like they got tested the most week one.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a monumental win for LSU. Just in terms of mentally for them to finally be able to get that season opening win, and now all of the hype that we've heard is, okay, maybe we have something here. I was very impressed.
So, again, the headlines, Bama falls 12 spots, still in the top 25 to number 20. And
I'm glad Florida State was ahead of them, though. That's right.
No, they should have been ahead of them.
Absolutely should have been that way, because I know that was something that Dave asked when we were up here last week, I believe, and they absolutely deserve to be ahead of Alabama.
Alabama, you beat Georgia, you're going to jump that team, right? There's bigger concerns, though.
Yes.
Take care of business. Look like you're supposed to look against Louisiana Monroe this weekend. Take care of business at home against a Wisconsin team that, look, if you saw anything in week 1, it's still Wisconsin.
Yes.
You should be fine. As long as you give effort, Conrad, you should be fine.
Yes, you should.
But then you travel to Athens.
Fine. So before the Georgia game, because you brought up ULM and Wisconsin, let's say Alabama goes out there and, ULM, let's say they go and they win by, 30, something like that, and then the Wisconsin game looks similar to last year's Wisconsin game. Will that have restored optimism in the fan base, do you think? Because I don't think that anything short of beating Georgia is probably going to instill that. Because you can look great the next 2 weeks, and it's going to go, okay, well.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Doesn't matter.
The next test is going to be, where does this team stack up against Georgia? And
Yep.
I think in the mind of some Alabama fans, it's how bad are they going to beat us?
Yes. I agree.
Do we even look respectable? Or do we get run out of the stadium when we go to Athens?
Yep. I agree.
Well, I think a lot of people probably very shocked.
Including you. Look
Landrum
at
gets
that face.
That's the best gift of the day.
I'll share with you, Pat.
Okay.
Always share with you.
Okay.
We share almost everything.
You want to put some of that on the paint, it'll probably stick on there.
Somebody can lick your face later.
Right. That would be great.
I'm so excited about this. I got an extra Ziploc.
Okay.
I'll pour you out some.
Okay.
Actually, just hand me your hands.
Barbecue sauce.
What was the movie where he had it was at Wedding Singer?
Just pours a sauce.
She has the meatballs,
Yeah.
and she puts them in his hands. He goes to the door.
Okay. I've been told that FSU Dave's here. I don't.
Are we supposed to do something?
I don't know.
Conrad, stand up. Salute.
Please
What are we
video
supposed
this.
to do?
Hey, video
Where
it.
is he?
Hey, you, get your video out. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Where is he?
You take your headset off and go
Yeah,
and
Conrad,
y'all
go.
embrace.
Greet him. Help him up the stairs.
Yeah.
Carry him up the stairs.
Yeah. This is going to be really loud, I got a feeling. I need some more Advil. Who's got to go to the bathroom?
FSU Dave has to go pee.
Oh. Well, he's got to empty himself before all the 75 beers he has during the show. Did you just stick your finger in that and lick it?
Did he pregame drink before he came up here? That's what you do on the barbecue circuit, Pat. You take the dry rub. Everybody wants to try it just before you ruin a big piece of meat. You just want to make sure it's okay. Kind of get that balance. We're excited. We just got some proprietary seasoning from Dave and our friends at Social Taco.
Yes, and I'm going to need some of that, too.
Because we were asking, what are these delicious fried chicken feathers? What is the seasoning that's on them? And we're told proprietary seasoning. And, 2 minutes later?
2 minutes after you texted
they
Dave.
bring this up
yeah,
here.
We got it, so.
I might put some of this on your turkey this year. Am I frying? Am I doing your turkey, not fried, but smoking your turkey?
Let's just be honest. Gary did it last year.
Yeah, I had to be at work in another state, several states away. But yeah, Gary's good like that. Gary can do it again this year. He can do mine too.
Okay, so over the last couple of minutes, the headline, Alabama stays in the coaches poll. They're at number 20. Auburn is not ranked in the top 25. Meanwhile, the National Football Foundation, they put together what's called a Super 16 poll each week. And since the poll started back in 2013, and that's voted on by Football Writers Association of America writers and College Football Hall of Famers, Alabama has been ranked in every single top 16 poll since 2013 until today. Alabama was not ranked in the top 16 of the National Football Foundation top 16 poll. First time ever.
Times they are a-changing.
They are.
We continue live from Social Taco. Come and join us in the terrace. FSU Dave, the war chants throughout the restaurant. We continue. 2 more hours of college football fun. Maybe some ribbing. 3-man front right here on Jox. Your home for college football and more.